Had to be more than 10
So how do you want to do it? Just like this?
Yeah, just on me and then a class if you have
Or you want me like write you with some a little bit more?
Yeah.
What I do is I'm not pretty good at that though.
Here you go. Thank you. This is me, Corey Crawford.
All right.
Is that record right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Corey. This is my speech presentation. I was told to give a speech with a big crowd, 10 or more people. So my topic is going to be about TV and the invention of television. All right. There were numerous inventors that contributed to the invention of television. Among these inventors were two individuals widely regarded as having significant contributions, Vladimir Zworykin and Philo Farnsworth. Vladimir, he initially worked for Westinghouse, but later joined the RCA group. He filed 2 patents in 1923 for a television system, and he was also Russian. The other guy, Philo Farnsworth, he was actually a kid, 14 years old. He's American. He produced the first working prototype of a TV in 1928. Using a different technology than Zworykin, Farnsworth started working on his invention when he was only 14 years old. His invention was considered to be the better of the 2 television technologies, actually. He was raised on a farm, and basically his farm, they had electricity, so that's when his knowledge and interest in TVs was initially produced. His family was from Idaho. One day the generator stopped on their farm, so none of the adults knew how to get it to working, so 14-year-old kid, he started playing with it and he got it to working, so his repairing technology kind of helped him along the way. 3 years earlier, Philo loved to experiment by building electronic motors in his attic. That became his inventor's lab. One night in the dead of winter, he read an article about combining radio and motion pictures and transmitting new media instantly into homes, and radios was now doing that. He had read science fiction accounts that used spinning mirrors that they didn't seem to be fast enough to capture the light of moving images. He pondered the problem for months and in a moment had an inspiration. Why not capture the light in a jar and transmit it into series individual lines of electron beams? You could magnetically deflect each line one at a time so that together they would form a moving picture. Philo Farnsworth was named one of the Time magazine's 100 greatest scientist thinkers of the 20th century. He was eager to show his science teacher the new idea, and so the excited boy electric diagrams on the blackboard. This is my idea for electronic television. What's television? His teacher asked. They spent several weeks working on the idea until it seemed that Philo's idea would actually work. Despite the family hardship, Philo was determined to go to college and managed to be admitted to Brigham Young University. In his spare time, he learned about vacuum tubes, cathode ray tubes. Without money, he had no hope for building a working model of his television. With his father's death in 1923, he left college and took a series of jobs. He and his friend Cliff took correspondence courses in radio technology. Now calling himself Phil, he stared ideas of television with Cliff. RCA actually offered to purchase and finance the development of his invention if Farnsworth would come work for them. He rejected this proposal. This invention of television is a great example of the struggles independent inventors can experience. At the time, RCA dominated the radio industry because it controlled all patents and earned millions of dollars in licensing and technology of manufacturers. They realized the potential for television and envisioned dominating the industry for controlling the patent and earning revenues for licensing the same way they did with radio. In order to fulfill this strategy, they needed to get control of Farnsworth's technology. All right. The investors with Farnsworth struggled with their financial resources, yet they were able to file 50 patents related to TV. Some investors wanted to sell to RCA, while others felt they should not. Attracting new investors and dealing with his partners was an ongoing challenge for Farnsworth. RCA decided to take aggressive strategy against Farnsworth. They filed lawsuits against him, attacking his validity of his patents by claiming that Zorkins was responsible for invention of television. This strategy had a twofold purpose. It would force him to incur expensive legal costs and would inhibit his ability to secure any licensing arrangements or financing. Since the validity of his patent was being challenged, in other words, it will force Farnsworth to sell into RCA or he'll go bankrupt. All right. Although this strategy seemed quite unreasonable, it is common for companies nowadays to strike competitive positions with an industry to dominate an industry. Farnsworth was able to withstand RCA. He managed to arrange a licensing agreement, and he had to go to England, and they licensed him with BBC. I know a lot of y'all heard of BBC. This helped him keep his company operating. He was also successful in defending his patent rights. However, RCA kept the pressure on appealing the court's decision. So he later was approached by this company called AT&T with a proposal. AT&T had a patent for coaxial cable, which was ideal for transmission of television signals. AT&T proposed what is known as a cross-licensing arrangement. Farnsworth would exclusively license AT&T to transmit television signals, and AT&T would exclusively license Farnsworth as the sole user of coaxial cable for television. This is also known as a trust, all right, whereby parties mutually agree to only to do business with each other and not anyone else. It also eliminates competition, and such agreements are now regulated by government through antitrust legislation. That's it. Thank you.
So did his version of TV eventually win out?
Yeah. It eventually went out because he won the, I guess, all the lawsuits.
He won the lawsuits
Yeah.
against RCA.
And the only way he won the lawsuits was merging with AT&T. So they had money, so they were fronting him, basically. Yeah. So money brings power. Thank you. Hurrah.